going, everybody? Hey, Will, how's it going? How's your new job doing for you? Well, I spent the whole day at a convention, and it is hot. It was warm in there. It's been like 50 degrees today. There was probably 200 to 300 people in the room. That's good. A second job besides Firewood? You sound like me, always working. Yeah, it's for my work paying for it. This conference is all about Wisconsin Arborist Association, so I might try to figure out a way to see if I can become a certified arborist for my job at work, which would also help with the firewood business too and stuff like that, which would be kind of cool. And spent most of the day yesterday cutting up a bunch of ash and hauling it out to their hunting property to store it over there because we don't have any room at my dad's place. Yeah, and it's 40 or 50 degrees here, so it was just a mud fest. Got the truck stuck, covered in mud, so I had to clean that up here this morning before I left for this convention. And what's the second job you're thinking about doing? Bartending or something like that? Something fun, hopefully? I think last time I went through and counted that I have stacked, I think I have 19 or 20 full cords. I think it was 19. And I still have wood in a pile from when Chris brought the processor, so I still gotta go through and stack all that yet too. But a couple weeks ago I went through and just spent part of the day cutting that log truck that I got delivered, so I've been working on, my dad ended up moving all the rounds closer to the racks, so I think I got 12 face cords I can have. So I think I got 19 full cords in the yard. And then I've also got a whole pile of ash in the next town over. My buddy's got taken the ash trees down in his yard. And of course I went through and sharpened up the chain before I even went out there. And the fifth cut I went through 3 nails and just wrecked the chain. So then I had to go sit there and sharpen the chain up for 15 minutes or whatever with the Dremel. I was so pissed off. My dad brought the splitter out with his truck and I brought the trailer, so he was splitting as I was cutting logs, and then the property owner was hauling back more logs out of the ditch from what he cut on Friday. So he's got a skid steer, so that was really handy, and we hardly made a dent in that frickin' pile. Hey Scott, man, how you guys been? You guys doing any maple syrup again here? Starting to tap your trees up there yet? Yeah, I wasn't really too thrilled about the nails. At least I didn't hit any more. There was a couple more brown streaks and I ended up missing a nail by half an inch after my dad split it. I was like, oh, that would have been another one. So Yeah, I spent, it was 1 o'clock till 4:30, so 3 hours without total. They had 2 breaks in between, talking about bugs and crud, about soil and bugs and diseases of trees and stuff like that. So that was pretty interesting, at least. So learned some stuff there. I don't know how hard it's going to be to get my arborist license, though. That might be a little disaster. Got a mountain of wood. How much you hoping to sell this year, Will? Yeah, my boss was down in Bahamas here this past week, and I think he was coming back in on Saturday. So I think he was talking about tapping trees here when we got back, because we got like 50s this week. So I know a couple people around the area started tapping. Hey Ted, how are you? Just because of all the snow, Scott, you couldn't get up in the wood yard? I've been trying to keep a couple days in the wood yard every week, but that's been difficult. I spent the last 2 weekends down, or not really down, up north in the UP snowmobiling, and then now I got this convention for the next 3 days, but it's going to be super warm, so the whole wood yard is going to be a mud fest. So it kind of worked out good this way, so I don't have to worry about trying to get something done when it's going to be a mud fest. It's supposed to drop back down into the 30s here next week, so I'm hoping, or this weekend, so I'm hoping I can get out there and get something done. I feel for you, Ted. It sounds like you've had a rough winter down there by you guys, with all the snow and the water main breaks down there. Hey Brian, how are you doing? How's the boiler treating you? That ain't bad, Will. It's just one of those things where you just gotta kind of, it's room. You have the same issue that I do, running out of room. I think I can, with where the pile is from where Chris stacked it, I think I can get probably close to 30 full cords in that tree line that I'm working on. And there's one tree in there, it's a big box elder that my dad wants to take down just because it's hindering the garden a little bit, and it's leaning really badly too, so that'll give me a little bit more space as well. But I figured, since I don't have a laptop, I can't really do anything at night here, so I figured I'd bring the camera gear along and maybe make a video or something talking. And then I'm like, you know what, I'll try to see if I can figure out how to live stream here. So that's what I'm doing. Because I gotta be back at the convention center at 7:30 to 8:30 for breakfast, and the first seminars I think are starting up at like 9. And then I think the last one ends at like 4. Something like that. So it's going to be another long day, which is fine by me. I'm getting paid for it by work, which will be nice. So hoping to figure out, and at least get some information to figure out how to become a certified arborist here at these shows. I think that would be kind of something cool to add to my resume too. And it would also help the city too that I work for. Something to do and add, be able to identify trees that gotta get taken out in the right of ways and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. I was talking to someone earlier on about the show, and he's like, yeah, if you pursue that angle, you can do some like consulting and stuff like that. Max out at 50, that would be impressive. my goal for the year is 30, and I did 28 last year. I have more wood now than I did last year. So I know I can probably do 30 full cords to sell. I'm kind of secretly hoping to try and do like 35, but I don't want to put a goal too high that I can't be able to reach. Speaking of hope, unfortunately I don't think I'm going to make it this year, but I'm going to try and convince Chris that we need to make a trip out to Wood for Warriors Labor Day weekend and just stay out on the East Coast the following week. It just comes down to if I have enough vacation time and if Chris is willing to do something like that. I haven't even talked to him about it, but I think that would be something I would want to do. I just don't trust my truck driving all the way down to North Carolina and then back up to Pennsylvania and then have to drive back home. I think that would be kind of fun, just be able to kind of hit up the East Coast and check out, maybe go up to Jersey and check out Matt's woodyard and see Jack's and Brad's during the week or something like that, and kind of like hop a couple wood yards up, hit a wood yard every day or something like that, and kind of make it an East Coast tour or something. But that's just something I would like to do. Yeah, it would be a long trip. I know this year I'm hoping to go down and visit Craig for sure. And then I'll be at the Wolf Ridge Convention in Eau Claire here in April, that's for sure. But I'm hoping to maybe do some more touring. Why can't I make it to yours? You're like me, you gotta work during the week. It would be a good time. Hey Craig, how's it going? Unfortunately I didn't get the fancy hotel room, Craig. I got the Quality Inn. You'll be at the Frenzy in Eau Claire, Will? That's gonna be a haul for you. Oh, Craig, I finally got some merch, some sweatshirts again now made up. Cause I gave you my last shirt, so I got some more shirts and got a couple hoodies for myself and stuff like that. So I just picked them up on Tuesday. I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna wear them to the convention this weekend, or this week, I should say. I mean, you're not wrong, Craig. It's just gonna be a place to sleep at this point. You're not wrong. And clean is the main thing there. It's got to be clean. And I walked in, I was surprised they actually had some laminate flooring down or something like that. I mean, I kind of got 2 days off. I just get to sit in conventions. I wish I brought the packet. I forgot the paperwork at the convention. I forgot to grab it when I was walking out. I think there's something about cemetery forests tomorrow. I go to see seminar, and there's like 2 or 3 more I'm going to try and head up to. The trade show is really small. Was the main one I seen, and there's a bunch of equipment from like Veneer and Bobcat and Toro and stuff like that, but there's nothing ARB sessions here, so that was kind of cool. But it just looks like it's all more of like throw lines and ropes and stuff like that, and bags. They don't have any like chainsaw chaps I didn't see, so that kind of sucks. I was hoping maybe they'd have some clogger pants or something. Maybe I could get a good deal on up here or something. That's something I think my chainsaw pants are pretty well shot. Like all the protective coatings on them are all at my calf and everything, and halfway down the pants, so that's not grid. Yeah, I think I might have an extra sweatshirt in your size, Craig, too, because I wasn't sure what size else was going to be, so I ordered a couple different sizes. And I gave my dad a large, so that he's going to take that one, and I got an XL. So we'll see what size Chris takes, because I'm going to give him one. Hoping he said he might have something for me here. He might be getting something at the end of the week, so I might be hanging out with him here in the next week or two. You're all good, Jeff. I just went live here at 8 o'clock. I just figured I have nothing else to do in the hotel room right now I can hang out for like an hour or so and then head to bed. Oh, and Jeff, I believe I do have your shirt in too, so at the Winnebago meeting or whatever, I'll get you that. I'm still waiting for the bill for it all. Are you going to be up at the Frenzy, Craig, up in Eau Claire? You're planning on going to that, aren't you, I believe? Because I know I will be going up. I might be bringing up a friend. I don't know if I'm going to be spending the night up there at my grandparents' house or not, but I do know I want to go, that's for sure, for the day. I think Miss Beaver is going to be there. I know Chris is going to be there. It sounds like. I don't know who else might be going, but I think that's going to be a fun time. Have a good night, Scott and Ann. Yeah, one of these weekends here, I gotta come down by you and bring the splitter or something like that. I think that might be a fun time. Or we can cut a bunch of wood too. That would work too. I think if we can. I know I got something planned with Chris coming up here, but I got some vacation I'm gonna burn up here before the end of the March, so it might be sometime in March if it's not too muddy out there. The WAA convention is the Wisconsin Arborist Association, so my boss asked me if I wanted to go, and I said, sure. So I'm trying to look into becoming a certified arborist. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go, Chris, because I'm currently on a hotspot because for whatever reason I can't hook up my GoPro to the Wi-Fi in the hotel. So that took me like 15-20 minutes to figure out how to get this thing to go live because I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to do it. I brought my camera gear just in case if I wanted to do something at the show or something like that. But I don't think there's really anything that I can think of offhand that I want to record. Unless I can get an interview with some guys at the ARB session at some point or something like that. But they only have steel here at the convention, which, who wants those? I was hoping Husqvarna might have the 564 there on to show, but they're not even here. There is, I think I've seen like 4 or 5 guys with Game of Trees shirts on. So I don't even know what they are. I looked a little bit on Google about what they are. I wanted to get a chance to talk to them, but they were all sitting at a table talking to each other. One of them had a jacket on, and the back of it said "Guilty of Treason" on the back of it, 2002 or 2022, and I was like, I wonder if they didn't bring him out the guy from Guilty of Treason out to Wisconsin, because I know he did some work in Wisconsin here at one point. I just don't remember when that was. I don't know if they are or not. I know steel is a very popular one. Like, this trade show is tiny. I want to say there's maybe 24 booths. I mean, this is the smallest trade show I have seen by far. And it looks like you can't even really buy anything. It seems like it's more of like insurance and liability stuff and spraying of trees for pesticide and stuff like that, and whatever else, injecting of trees. I mean, that's what there was no one at the booths today. I was just able to walk around and see the names of the booths, and I want to say like a third of them were empty yet still, so. I might have to try and talk to those Game of Trees guys there, Jeff. I didn't realize they had a channel as well. It's kind of funny because everyone's walking around in their work gear and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm not going to bring anything from the city. I got a little lanyard that goes around my neck that says my name and what business or whatever municipality I'm from, so. Met a couple guys that also work for different municipalities up in Eau Claire and some stuff like that, so that was kind of cool talking to them for a little bit. One of the guys from Eau Claire, he has a full-on, what is it? They have 4 full-time arborists, and they are hiring one more up there. I'm like, no kidding. He's like, yep, so all we do is we cut down trees, prune trees, plant trees. You know, he's like, we do help a little bit here and there and some other stuff, but mostly our jobs are tree related. And I'm like, yeah, well, my little town, we do tree work maybe a couple times a year, and that's about it. Hey, Jeremiah. I haven't got a chance to watch your video yet, but I'm hoping to do that here when I lay down for bed for a little while and see to get the processor done. I'm interested to see how much work you got there done, because it seems like it's one of those things where at least you had the truck. You could at least load the truck and move the stuff, or where you just had to pile it, and that was a problem. Hey, Bill Irwin. I gotta watch Craig's video yet too. There's so many videos that comes out. Craig's wedge. Are you stealing it now, Craig? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what it sounds like. You know, if you're gonna go to the Frenzy, you can just go up and buy yourself a new splitting wedge and have Jeremiah's guy weld you up one, right? Coming back. I said the same thing to him, and he said, I'm not coming back for those logs. You can cut them out yourself. So that's what I'm doing. Chris wanted nothing to do with trying to finish that log truck. Which I don't blame him. That stuff was awful, even splitting it. I split a little bit on it with the brute force, and that was just junk. Everything was just crooked and nasty looking. Can't get nothing straight. It's awful. Lady friends. I was surprised there was more females at the show than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting too many of them at all, but there's a handful of them here. I didn't talk to any of them though. That sounds too scary. My boss said that. He's like, hey, look, there's a lot of future ex-wives here. And I said, nope, not doing that one again. I'll stay single. They were here earlier. Bill, my goal is to sell 30 cords. I have 19 full cords at my parents' house so far. I'm working on a job for a friend that has a ton of ash. So that's gonna, he's keeping the bigger stuff. He's gonna get a sawmill here sometime beginning of March. So I'm hoping I can maybe be able to pay him a visit and get some video footage of him running a sawmill, making some boards out of the bigger ash. He said he's got a couple projects coming up that he might want to make something with, so he said he's going to do that. I'm at the WAA convention, Jeremiah, the Wisconsin Arborist Association, for work. They're paying me to be up here for 3 days, so I figured, you know, what the heck, let's go live. They said they were going to try and You're not wrong, Mark. They do cost money. Hey, Lens. So yeah, I gotta trying to become a certified arborist if I can figure. It sounds like there might be a way because I won't meet the hour requirements with my job, but I can have someone vouch for my bosses vouch for me and stuff like that, which will kind of bypass those requirements. And with my background, as long as I can pass the test, which that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. The study guide's $90, so I might pick that up, but then I just have to take the certified test. Jeremiah better look up buying a wedge. He might need that wedge back, you know, with that log truck he's got there and everything. You know, might need to do some resplits on that resplit machine that's made for it, you know. It's actually not bad. The first night was kind of nice, you know, like we had, the first sessions were really long. It was like 3.5 hours for the first session. There was one about utility power lines and stuff like that, or there was one about bugs and cruds. So that's the one I sat in. So they were talking about bugs and soil conditions and diseases and stuff like that and how to stop the spread. I did find out that they said that if you're going to be pruning any elms or oaks in from April to July, that you should paint them. It doesn't matter what kind of paint, latex, they said buy the 99-cent lowest special spray can, and as soon as you cut that limb off, just spray it, because they said this disease and for them to get hit is like within like 48 hours of you cutting that branch. So they even said if there's a big storm damage, that's what usually happens. Big storms comes through and takes down a couple limbs. If you can get up there within a couple hours after that storm and just paint the affected area, that could be enough to save the tree. Oh yeah, now I remember, Bill. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember that you say that. Yeah, thankfully, Will, the sessions for the next 2 days, I don't think there's anything longer than like an hour and a half, which is pretty nice. I wish I brought the paperwork with me and I can kind of go through the classes and stuff like that. And a lot of the presenters are also from the DNR too and everything like that, which is kind of cool. I talked to one of the guys from the DNR who does more of like the urban forestry stuff like that, and talking about doing canopy maps and stuff like that. I guess there's one class tomorrow morning that I think I'll be going to called the 330-300 rule. I guess it's the average resident should be able to see three trees from where they live and be able to have a 30% canopy cover and have green space, access to green space within 300 meters of where they reside. I was like, no kidding. So I'm going to be interested to see how that works. Are you going to be able to come to Bunyan, Jeremiah, sometime? Because I know you said you're going to the Frenzy, so I'll be seeing you up there. It was 60 in Appleton yesterday. We had 53 in Ripon yesterday. Yeah, I'm hoping that. I'm looking forward to Bunyan. Someday. Well, you just gotta convince Craig that he needs to go, and you can carpool with Craig then, right? That makes the most sense in my opinion. I think that would be a good time. Or get Brian to come with you. I mean, if I get a bigger truck at some point, which will happen in like 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is. We could haul him. Your truck bed's big enough, Chris. We could probably haul him down there. Yeah, glowing. It's always the first weekend in October in Cambridge, Ohio. I gotta talk to Chris and figure out if we're gonna try and go to the International Firewood Expo in June, I think it is this year. And if I can see if I can, maybe we'll have to take a trip up to Michigan on Monday and pick up something on the way back. Ain't riding in no Maverick. But think about the fuel mileage you're gonna get. You're not wrong, Mark. It's gonna be a rough week. That's why I was kind of glad I'm up here, because I'm like, okay, well, I don't have an excuse to go make wood because it's gonna be a mud fest in my parents' backyard. I had it on my list to go to that Mid-South show. I was talking to Chris and see if he wanted to go, but he said he's going to be too busy to go. I'm like, well, I'm not going to drive down 11 hours to Tennessee myself. So I said, forget it. I'll go help out Chris so he can get ahead instead of going to the show. Sloan, are you talking about the international show? That's in first weekend of June. Ohio Joe hosts that show. Thanks, Craig, for putting that in the chat. I don't remember where the city was. I just put it on my calendar of all the different events. I think the first show I'm gonna probably go to is the Firewood Frenzy, and then I'm gonna talk to Jason about Bear Paw in May. Yeah, because I guess the Hoosiers the same weekend as the Bear Paw. I'd rather stay local than drive 6 hours down through Indiana. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, how was that, Will? Was that a decent one at Messick's there? The open house? I mean, the Firewood Frenzy is kind of the same thing too. I mean, it's just all Wolfridge equipment and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of other vendors there too and stuff like that. That's where I bought my fire pit that you were commenting on last fall, was at the Frenzy. So that was kind of pretty cool there. But I'm hoping that we get some decent weather in April. We don't get no rain or something stupid like that, because who the heck knows how that would go. I mean, it can't be any worse than the 100 degrees we had last year, because that was a rough day. I did not. I'm so used to bringing it. I even brought it up to when we went snowmobiling 2 weeks ago with my cot and the blanket. Well, that's good. Did they sell out all the machines too at Messick's that they had for sale there? So is it we're all gonna try and crash Dan's woodyard then after the show? Is that what we should do? Because I thought that would be funny. I don't know if I'm gonna end up staying down or staying up there in Eau Claire for the weekend, or I'm gonna try and head back for the day. Just make it a day trip. Not exactly sure. Are you flying in then, Will, to that then? I wouldn't think you'd be driving that far, would you? I'm looking forward to really, they're sold out of machines, man. And don't they get like a couple truckloads every month or something like that too? I mean, that's gonna be nuts. I mean, they make some good equipment. You know, if I ever buy another splitter again, I'm really leaning to that 17 VS that they make. That is such a nice machine. I think that's the one I would probably end up going with. But trailer's got to come first, and then probably a new truck, and then at that point, and hoping that I'd be needing one of those blockbuster processors or something like that. And then a skid steer and a bigger trailer, and you know, the list never ends when it comes to wanting to upgrade equipment. You could sit there and spend all your money on equipment, and you'll never have enough. I mean, you're not wrong, Craig. There's hardly any used market for the Wolf Ridge equipment, which I'm not surprised by at all. $68,000 for your model, Chris? Holy crap. Like, what's the freaking 18? The new one that you're going to be getting in a couple months. What is that one going to be like? Is that one going to be probably pushing 70, 75,000 at least, I would think? Six conveyors. There's another piece of equipment that I'm going to need to get at some point, is a conveyor. And then you want to look at a tumbler or is it a tumbler I'm thinking of? It probably is a tumbler. You know, I like my brute force. I really do. I'm not a huge. I haven't ran that new design yet on the new brute force, but I like my splitter quite a bit. And there's times I just wish I would have gotten a Wolf Ridge splitter, but the size that I have now and the speed, I don't think they didn't have the 22 or the 17 RS at the time. They had the 28, and I wasn't going to try and save even more money for that. But it's one of those things where if I can keep making the wood every year and then keep just reinvesting. Hey, holy crap, 90,000! Oh my goodness, I'm going to be sitting there saving for like 10 years before I can afford that. I mean, unless a certain someone can get me a deal on when I start going to buy one. I mean, it doesn't really print money, but it is making money. Definitely faster than a chainsaw. Speaking of chainsaws, Chris, did you hear when they're getting the first shipment of the 564s in yet? I've heard the 19th was the number I was told. But they said the G models might be a little bit later than that. So I don't know if I'll have mine here this month or not. I was hoping to have it already because I want to finish that log truck with that new saw. Because I've been holding off on wanting to cut. Hopefully I'll get the 20th to the 22nd. So next week. We might have to have a play date when we get our saws. That's for sure. Because I think that's going to be, I'm so looking forward to that. I don't care how much money it is. I've been waiting for that thing for so long. Mid-March? Oh, I gotta wait another month. And by the time I get it, I won't even need the G then. Ugh. And I don't need two of them, unfortunately, as much as I would like to have a second one. I'm gonna have to wait. Ugh. I better be getting the first call about the G's. Hey, there you go, Will. Those are two really nice saws. I have not ran the 585, but I heard it's very similar to the 572, or the 592. And a 572, you're going to love that. I didn't really realize that Messick sold chainsaws, though, too. I mean, you're not wrong. Every day is a play day when you're spending time in the wood yard. I gotta drop off my snowmobile here on Wednesday after I get back from the shows. After work on Wednesday, drive down to Cedarburg for an hour and a half and drop that off. And I'm hoping I can get maybe one more weekend to go out and ride. But I don't know, with this whole weather yet, we'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to anything happening here. It's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be very iffy. I mean, that will definitely help speed up your production, though, too, well, with bigger saws there. I was thinking about buying a 572, then I heard the 564 was coming out, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just get those. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get a 572 or a 562 for that matter. I might just keep buying the 564s if I need more saws. Because I like my 90cc saw, but that gets heavy after a while. So if I really like this 564 and my dad likes it, I might get a second one in the future, maybe next year or something like that, if they got one at one of those sales or something like that. Okay, that's unfortunate for them. Yeah, Mark, I got some family up in the Chippewa County that I usually go ride with, and I was gonna go Friday and Saturday, hopefully, but with the weather, they closed as well too. So I was like, forget it, I ain't gonna go. Which that sucks. I was really hoping to go riding, but I got a bog on the top end, which is, I guess, is a known problem. Chris is very knowledgeable. You need more of everything, more chainsaws, more wood, more equipment. You know, you can never have enough of anything, that's for damn sure. And everyone I talk to that doesn't, in the firewood community, is like, how much wood do you need? Well, I sell out of the wood every single year, so I'm doing something right. They don't make them like her at all, well, that's for sure. I mean, women these days are not great. I'll just work for myself. Are you gonna be around Tuesday afternoon, evening, Chris? I'll be going right through Appleton, so I think the last show was at like 4. So I could stop by. We can make another video. Is Craig still in here, or did he take off already? My dad won't give up the field. I've asked to buy it. I've asked him to let me use it. He said no, 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 no. And I'm like, oh. Oh, Craig is here. Oh, I forgot what I was going to ask you now. Bill, the cost for a cord for, like, you're talking about a log truck or to sell. I mean, I'm bumping my thing up at 120 a face cord, so I'll be selling full cords for at least 360 for any hardwood. I know I'm gonna probably piss off some of my campers or whatever, but if I can't, I mean, even I was a little worried about my oak inventory last fall. That I ran out of oak, and I had people calling wanting oak, and I'm like, well, all I got left is this. Some people said, oh, go find oak somewhere else. Some people said, I'll take what you got. So it seems like it's one of those things where I'm just gonna sell what out of everything that I have. I told my mom that she should tear down the garage and put up a bigger garage with a heated floor and put a boiler in that you can heat the house and both garages right away too, so the splitter doesn't have to stay cold. That ain't bad. 125 a face cord, and you can. You just finished editing that now? It's been almost like a month. I think I came by, what, it's end of December, so it's a month and a half? I mean, that moving video, that was like the easiest editing I've ever done. I think I made like 3 or 4 cuts in that whole video. It was super easy. His arborist business is Hams or Hans Arborist Care, I think, because I seen him on a couple. We had a guy sitting in front of us that had that on above the game of trees. You know, I have to look up his channel and see, maybe we can do an interview together on something like that or whatever. Is it Hams? There it is. If that's the case, you know, that'd be kind of cool. Do an interview with him. If he's got a bigger channel than me, I can get some publicity or something like that or whatever. 300 a full cord. Yeah, that's what I was selling my mixed hardwood for last year, but I'm bumping my prices way up, and like, so I'm gonna be going up $20, and I don't know. I got one very reliable customer that keeps buying it for me every year. He buys over 2 full cords, so I don't know how he's gonna feel about the prices. I mean, firewood does grow on trees, sweet, but it's the effort, the time, the fuel to make the firewood. That's the problem. Jack made a great video about that this week, talking about that. Because, you know, I got to make an interview for my podcast for next month. It grows in trees. I was wondering, I'm surprised I didn't get any comments for wearing my shirt that I was wearing, my hoodie, you know, at an arborist convention. Probably everyone just thinks I hate trees, which, I mean, that's how I make money, so I don't have to get paid to take them down. I get paid to haul them off and make money by selling the wood. I'm calling it talking with the fellas. I did 2 episodes with Chris, talking with him about his moving and how he got started and everything like that. And I'm like, I could do a monthly podcast. That seems easy enough. I just have to do something a little bit different there. So I'm hoping to visit Chris one more time so he can interview kind of me, because I've never really talked about how I got started in doing firewood. And I'm not like the typical firewood guy who heats with wood and just happens to sell some. I don't heat my house at all with wood. My dad does a little bit, but I have a little bit of a different story coming from how I got into the firewood community and stuff like that. So maybe we'll post it on Chris's channel too, or something like that. I just don't think I can keep up with doing I would like to go back to 2 videos a month, or 2 videos a week, but right now it's just not a good time I got, I think, 4 or 5 videos to edit yet still, but I mean, that's a month of videos for me, or it's 2-3 weeks. So it's like, once the summer comes through or whatever else, I can kind of get ahead a little bit more and hopefully have more daylight to do things, Yeah, that's the problem, is I don't have the time. I mean, I made sure I got a video edited for Friday already before I left. All I'm gonna do is make a thumbnail over the next couple nights, because I'm like, well, I don't have a laptop, so here's 3 days of me not getting anything done, which is gonna suck. So I'm gonna have to get back home and hopefully hit the computer pretty hard and trying to get a video done for the following week. So, and those podcast videos are fairly easy to edit for the most part, which is kind of nice because it makes it for quick editing time. Consistency is key. Well, that's the thing. Like what Chris told me, I'm like, so I just picked every Tuesday, Friday, and when I went down to 1 video, I'm just gonna stick with every Friday for the time being, and then hopefully go back to Tuesdays again, or maybe just do an extra video once or twice a month on Tuesdays, But if you can just keep posting once a week, that's the key, Ideally, more is better. 2 to 3 times a week is the most ideal. I think Dan does 3 videos a week. I think Ohio Joe does 2 or 3 a week, so that's kind of like the sweet spot. But the editing time in between there, and Dan works from home. Ohio Joe, that's his full-time job. Me, I work a full-time job and then do this on the side. So I don't have a ton of time to sit there and make content and get videos done. I'm also trying to figure out other videos to talk about too and stuff like that, which getting other ideas and stuff is also another difficult part, because you can't predict what video is going to do well and what video is not going to do well. I try to stay at least a week ahead. When I was doing 2 videos a week, I was doing them like the day or 2 before, and it was just a nightmare. Like, I think a couple weeks ago, I ended up getting some ash logs from my buddy. So we spent, I want to say 3 or 4 hours cutting wood at his place, and then I turned around and went back and then split the wood, so I made that a separate video. And then when it was brutally cold, I made that short about the exploding trees, and I also did a bunch of cutting that day myself too, and then made another talking video of something I thought of, but I'm running out of topics to talk about too and stuff like that. I don't know how Chris can keep doing and coming up with topics constantly in his head, because even sometimes the content of just the vlogging and talking and working and stuff like that doesn't do great. I know, like, that's why I did what round is the best size for firewood production, because no one wanted to watch me sit there and split the same pile of wood for 2 or 3 times, so I needed something else to talk about. So I thought that was going to be a good way to kind of figure things out. I had to try and get those big 40-inch logs in the splitter too. I mean, you're not wrong, Jeremiah. I mean, the one video did over 2,000 with Chris's, the first interview, and then Tom talking about his moving. That was my best video I've gotten so far. That even beat the Ripsaw video in a matter of, I think, 5 days. And that Ripsaw video was a very last minute video. I was getting yelled at by Ken and Tony to get my butt moving and get back to the truck because they were waiting for me. And I'm like, I just happened to do that video. I'm still waiting to go in there and on their website. I still can't find their exhaust or anything like that on their site, or their felling dogs or anything like that. So I'm just like, that's a little frustrating. Same thing with split fire. I'm still waiting for that bucket light. We should just have like a cardboard cutout of Chris that we can just put in the background of all of our videos and stuff like that, and make that the thumbnails. Well, I know when Chris comes to help me out, he knows I'm going to return the favor, so I'll help him out sometime when he needs it running the tractor or something like that for him and his wood yard and stuff. So I'll figure out a way to get it going. Like, that's what's nice about it. We live so close, so we can help each other out. The whole reason why he brought the processor, I jokingly said back in like May of last year that, oh, you should bring the processor out, and he's like, yeah, we can do that. You just got to make sure you got some logs. I never thought he was actually going to do it, but I was very happy with it, that's for sure. I just wish I got some better logs. Yeah, I hardly I hardly go live when I'm doing wood. I just don't got the Wi-Fi connection out there and stuff like that where I'm working at typically. I even had a heck of a time trying to get this live to go with the freaking Wi-Fi and everything. Pain. He'll put us all to work. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you can just stay a week or two ahead, well, do 2 videos in one day or something like that, and like having that cushion, because I went riding for 2 weekends straight, so I didn't make any content for almost 3 weeks until Saturday. Craig, we have strong backs and weak minds as Firewood guys. We aren't the brightest bunch of guys. We just know how to work hard, right? See, I know that there's a way to do vertical lives. I got the live stream playing on my phone so I can read the comments, and I'm live streaming off the GoPro so I can do it horizontally. But I don't know how to do the vertical lives and stuff like that. Probably could do it off the data off the live off my phone. That might work too. But then I gotta hold the phone or something, or get a mount for my phone in the truck or whatever. That might work. Alright, I think I've been live for like an hour, something like that. What am I at? Yeah, just hit an hour. I think I'm going to go get off the live stream here, go lay down for a little bit and watch some. Yeah, so you have to go into the GoPro Quick app, and then it connects to your phone through Bluetooth, and then it uses your phone's Wi-Fi connection. Is the only way I figured out how to do it, is through the Wi-Fi on the phone to get the GoPro to go live. So you have to set up everything on the GoPro app of the title and then the description, and then you can connect and go live through your platform of Twitch or Facebook, YouTube, whatever. But yeah, that's how I've been doing all my lives, but I might have to get some cell phone mounts or something to do some of these vertical lives or whatever, so. But hope everyone has a good night. Enjoyed the weekend. I'm going to probably hit the bed and watch some YouTube. I'm going to check out Jeremiah's video. I'm going to check out Craig's video. If you're not subscribed to Craig, you got to go and subscribe to Craig. You know, we got to get him to 1,000 subscriber mark so he can be monetized, you know, get that money. Well, look forward to seeing everyone at the Frenzy that's going to be going here in a couple months. So, everyone had a good night. Firewood fella, logging off.